Hey y'all, welcome back to Mirror Expressions, where I share my thoughts and opinions with you all about different TV shows or anything else that may be going on that's of interest. And I invite you all to do the same with me. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe this channel to all the people that you know. Help me get my subscribers up. And also drop a mirror emoji in the comments if you have looked in the mirror today and you feel A1 with what you see looking back. And if not, as always, I implore you to take whatever avenues you have to get back to a healthier you. All right. Without further ado, let's get right on into it. Today, we will be recapping and reviewing Married to Medicine, Season 9, Episode 5. And sorry, y'all, if y'all hear my baby in the background, he's a little hype right now. Anyways, this one is called Viva Las Vegas. So the girls, they're in Vegas. They made it their last episode. And I could have sworn we were done with the Never Have I Ever game, but apparently not. So they're still at, they are still at it. Never have I ever had sex on a beach. Anila, Contessa, Toya, Carrie, I think that was pretty much all of them that drank on that question, right? I think it was Quad that ended up saying, was it Quad? Something about now how did Toya have sex on the beach where Eugene don't like PDA? So it must have been with somebody else. Yeah, I think that was Quad. Then they asked Jackie, well, does she have a good question, huh? So she says, never have I ever had that Mary Jane. I think everybody drunk on there. Everybody but Jackie. Then it was never have I ever had anal sex. Awkward silence. Awkward. Anila finally drinks. And then Toy should have, because she was like, ooh, that hurts. So how you know it hurts if you never had it before? Jackie ended up putting the people out so they could go and get ready for the evening, right? That was the end of that. So they're all dressed up from head to toe, except that darn Heavenly. She came out with some darn flip-flops or sandals on the feet. Now, she was dressed cute, but honey, when you got to the feet, it was like, god darn. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna lie, because the way my feet are set up these days, that would have been me. I'm definitely a comfort over style right now. I'm definitely in that mindset. And Contessa is just, oh, baby, Contessa just living her best life out here in these Vegas streets, honey. She had on this big old chain that said Chanel, and it was like each letter was a big old thing hanging off the chain. Then she had on this hair that was all different colors, looking like Rainbow Bright. I think Quad said she looks like bubblegum. Or cotton candy. That's what it was. Cotton candy. I was just like, girl, Contessa, you doing too much now. You doing too much. So they go to dinner and Quad is late as usual. And she makes it just in time as they're about to toast. And so Jackie also bring out this thick ass whip, y'all. It look like a darn snake. Like, it don't look like no whip. I never ever seen that thing. It was like this thick around. So she brings it out and snaps it on that table. And everybody like, what is going on? So she says, you know, that this is a preview of what's to come for later on that night. So they're conversing and Heavenly mentions how all of them are successful, right? This prompts Audra. Remember, this is who Heavenly brought into the group. So this prompts Audra to check Toya about questioning her attorney skills back when they were in the suite, and Toya was like, well, what kind of attorney are you, when she was trying to take up for Jackie, you know? And honey, to be honest, Audra, I just feel like she was going way in too hard for that very fact. Like, if it bothered you that much, the thing to the time to have said something would have been when y'all was still in the suite, when it was still relevant. Like right now, I just feel like Audra is trying to make a scene or make something out of nothing so that she can be seen, if that makes sense. And not to say that that that's not what's the word I want to say, like that that's not something that should be overlooked, because I wouldn't want anybody downgrading what I do either, but I just feel like she was trying to make that a moment. Like, you could have been already nipped into the books. Y'all have been past that already. So yeah, I just really feel like she was trying to create a moment with that. And so anyway, Toya, though, on the other hand, was looking very unbothered by it all anyway. She kept eating and was just like, I was just joking when I said that. But, but she did get me, Audra did, when she told Toya, how about you use your critical thinking skills? Oh, I think that tickled me so, because, you know, it's always like Toya supposedly like an airhead, which I think that's just a put on. But anyways, that just really tickled me. Jackie ends up like breaking the ice or the tension, like by saying next stop. So they go on over to this sex store. And Contessa, baby, that thing purse all the way up. Like, that Contessa, she a slick freak. Like, I think her and Candy will make great friends. Candy from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If they're not already friends, I think they will make really good friends. In Heavenly's confession, she says she won't be surprised if Jackie has her own Pornhub channel, right? And Shady Production go put up on the screen, instead of saying Pornhub, they gonna put Jackie Hub. I said, oh my goodness. So basically, she's saying Jackie's like an undercover freak, you know, and she probably is, you know. Let that woman be great at what she doing. But anyway, so she set up Jackie, you know, remember this is Jackie's day. So she done set up for them, had like a little show and tell with, I guess, like either the owner of the shop or he's at least an employee. And so he's going over some of the different toys or whatever. And here go Toy. I need something that's going to be close to a shower head effect. So they tell her what would be good for her if that's the kind of feeling she's going for. Then he brings up the goal of Tantra. And that is basically to hold your O, like, so that it can be very intense. That's the goal of Tantra, to increase the intensity of your orgasm. And so Toya and Anila both like, nope, that ain't working for me. Why we gonna hold our O for like 2 or 3 days? And Emily gonna say in her confessional, why wait 3 or 4 days to have a climax when I can have a climax each one of those days? And I'm thinking like, baby, daddy ain't laying it down right if you just gonna have one climax a day anyway. Plus, it ain't about the number of climaxes. It's about the intensity. That was the whole point of him talking about the Tantra, is the intensity. He kept saying from the get-go, it's intense. So, anyway, that, I don't know. I think, I ain't gonna say. I'll just keep it going. Yeah, it's just about the intensity. I just leave it at that. Like, that waiting is to build up that tension, and so that, you know, you have that combustion of build up, you know. So, but we gonna keep moving past that, you know. They buy their stuff, whatever they got. They ain't really sure. That ain't important. They buy their stuff. They keep it moving. So it's the next day, right? And this is Simone's day. So we see the ladies, they're all getting up, doing their thing. Quad is talking to Mason on the phone. It's so adorable just to see them interact. It really is. Because, baby, that Mason was like, he missing his Quad. You know, he told her, you been gone a whole week. Quad was like, Mason, it's been one day. He said, well, just stay one day. He ready for her to come back. Oh, that was so cute. And then we see Simone bringing coffee to Toya and Carrie. So I guess that you know, last time I mentioned that there has to be two other people that are sharing rooms. So I'm assuming that it's Toya and Carrie. So we see her bringing coffee in there to them, and they talk about Audra. Toya act like she don't remember the girl name. And I'm just like, Toya, now you know, you just playing some shade. So we get Simone telling Toya that, you know, you can't really dictate how somebody's going to take your joke. And so then we get the flashback to Anila and Kieran dressing up as movers at the Halloween party. And because, you know, that was directed towards Toya. And so Simone is basically like, either you decide to move forward with Audra or you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't stay in this petty spot. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, then we also see Audra going to visit Anila. Baby, Anila hotel room is so nasty. Like, girl, you only been there one day. Why is your room looking like that? Anila, she's coming off as a very spoiled woman. She don't want to raise the children. You could tell the way that hotel room looks. She used to people picking up behind her and not doing it herself. Like, girl, get your life. So back in Atlanta, now I like this. I peeped out what they were doing here. They were trying to show the little dad moments, like the dad was highlighting the dads, giving them their time to shine. So I thought that was cool. So back in Atlanta, we get a peep in on all the dads and what they're doing. So Eugene is out with the boys at the pool, and he's talking about how much quieter his home is when Toy is gone. As I can imagine, over at the Neela house, Kieran is he's making homemade pizzas with the kids. And one of them was like, I miss mommy. I think that was the little boy. And so Kieran was like, well, where's mommy? And the little girl, what's her name? Adriana, something, Ariana. She was like, in Vegas. Here go Kieran. And what do they do in Vegas? Here she go. Weird stuff. Then we see Scott with his kids. And they're kind of like this pottery painting thing, I think. Or maybe like a paint and sip. Of course, they ain't sipping them. But you know what I'm saying. Like, you get it. One of them type of things. And the oldest little girl, 13, baby, done snuck on some makeup. And he's just like, you know, you getting into stuff and you doing things that you know you wouldn't be doing if your mama was here. So, yeah. So, basically, oh, wait a minute. Let me not forget Dr. Daddy. And so, we see him with Allura in her new car. And he's taking her for some driving lessons. So, yeah, I liked how they just kind of spotlighted the dads and what they doing to hold the damn at home. That was pretty cool. That was a cool little insert. So, again, it's Simone's day. And she's saying her day is full of fun and the turn up. And so, she takes the lady and they start off with brunch, right? And the book that Simone and Cecil are writing is brought up. I think Dr. Heavenly is the one that brings it up. And so Simone kind of talks about that and why she and Cecil decided to write it. And she also speaks to how instrumental Heavenly was to her and how good of a friend she was to her during that period of time when she and Cecil were just not on the best of terms. And I just thought that was really that was very poignant for her to point out, especially being that Heavenly and her are just not in the best of places right now. Even though they are getting along, I still thought that was just very cool to for for her to point that out, given their recent tension. So Heavenly starts spitting out some knowledge, and then Contessa in her confessional is just like, throwing her shade. Like, who does she think she is to be trying to give advice? And basically, Heavenly was just talking about picking and choosing your battles. That's the best way to get along and be along in a marriage, right? And so, which I feel like is true. Like, I don't even think that's just within a marriage. I think that's kind of within any meaningful relationship. You just got to pick and choose your battles. And so Jackie throws in her 2 cents about not arguing with a fool, because then it becomes two fools in an argument, right? And Carrie fixes her plumped up mouth to say, that's being passive aggressive. Like, Carrie, why are you here? I do not care for that woman. I feel like she said something that just really rubbed me the wrong way. I ain't gonna get out into the detail, but I feel like it came across very racist. And ever since then, I don't care for her. But anyways, even regardless of if I care for her or not, she's not getting a lot of screen time. She's not being filmed really saying anything. Like, this is probably the first time we heard the woman speak since she loaded the bus to come to Vegas. And that's all we hear from her for the whole episode, pretty much. Like, why are you here? Anyways, so Contessa pipes up about how you should have too many people in your circle. And Heavenly comments that no one could ever come between her and Dr. Daddy or tell her something about her man. So Simone is like, but if it hurts you, if someone but it will hurt you if someone makes something up about Damon, And that's all. What she say? That's where Contessa is coming from. So basically, Simone is bringing up the beef between her and Heavenly, right? And I'm just like, why did you have to shift the conversation in that direction at that particular point, Simone? Like, why? Because we do know that Heavenly did say that she was going to take this trip to at least speak to Contessa at some point and apologize, whether if she needed it to be publicly or privately. But I felt that instead of pushing the envelope, that they should have had that between them, But anyway, so Simone brings it up. And then here go Jackie in her confessional. Why are you doing this right now? And I'm with you, Jackie. Like, why? Why are you doing this? Back at the table, Heavenly is like, I ain't do that. Contessa put that out there. Nobody made it up. And here go the shade of production. We get this different montage of different points in last season of Contessa talking about all the things that her and Scott were going through, and like even just her suspecting that he wasn't being faithful, and just how he was saying some of the mean things to her. And so Contessa starts talking about, I think she said, what did she say to Heavenly? Or was it Simone? No, Simone was still trying to reason with Heavenly and get her to see like how that may be true, but you talking about it hurt your friend's feelings. So you could just see Heavenly boiling, right? And here go Jackie. It's about to be an inferno. In facts, because I don't know. I was about to say, I don't think I've seen these ladies get this hot in a minute, So But things just go straight crazy from here. Next thing you know, Helen jumps up off that table and she going off, her arms just flailing and flipping about. And Contessa talking about words have power. Which they do, And Heaven is yelling how I don't speak on my marriage, cause soon as you speak on it, everybody else speaking on it. Y'all bitches ain't blah blah. I was just like, oh my goodness. And all I could think is facts, facts. She's essentially agreeing with the same thing Contessa said, that words have power. And I've mentioned this, I think it was just my last review, but that Heavenly purposely does not mention her marriage. And if you don't give them nothing, they ain't got nothing to talk about. It's just pure speculation at that point. And I don't blame Heavenly for that, because I feel like if I was on a reality show, I would probably do the same thing. And because people are going to talk. And I feel like a lot of people do get into your business. And that's probably, and of course, this is just my thoughts and opinions, but that's probably why so many marriages in the reality TV sector they don't make it. You see a lot of marriages break up on those type of platforms. So, but yeah, they was kind of, it was funny that they were arguing, because like I said, to me, it was like they were kind of saying the same thing, because Contessa was like, words have power, and Heavenly was like, I don't talk to y'all, because then y'all gonna be talking, what y'all do, And so she eventually kind of saying the same thing. Your words have power. So, and here goes Shady Production again. So, while Heavenly standing up just going off, and she looked so funny just going off, like, she looked like she was about that life, but she was going at it. But here go production gonna pan the camera around to the other tables around them, and the people looking at them like, dang. Ooh. And then all you can see is so points, people like this too, recording the whole thing. I said, that old production so shady. World star. Contessa then denies that she's mad at Heavenly. And I'm like, now, Contessa, we already know you mad at Heavenly. You ain't got to lie about that. But she's saying she's not. Right? And so, at some point, Heavenly is like, yeah, you mad at Scott, but you put it off on me. So then Contessa pops up, and she's just like, you're deflecting. And so they just going at it, right? So they both up. Now, I'm going to say this now. Contessa was calmer in her voice. Like, she wasn't screaming like Heavenly was. But now, Contessa did keep walking up on her. Now, I will say that now. You ain't supposed to be poking no bear. Like, you already knew she was in the uproar. There ain't the time to be walking up on nobody. Like, Dr. Jackie had just said, arguing with a fool become two fools in an argument. Like, two fools in a fight. So, but yeah. So, they okay. So then all the ladies, they trying to break them up, right? So you guys, some hold the Heavenly back, some hold the Contessa back, and all the people you see at the table is Toya. Now Toya, Toya still eat her bacon, baby, that she had wanted so much at the beginning of the brunch. And then Carrie, of course, sitting there because she ain't gonna do nothing. Like, again, why are you there? Why? Just why? So they eventually pull Heavenly away, right? And in Jackie's confessional, Jackie be getting it in this season. I'm gonna give it to Jackie. Honey, she was like, I wish I had a dart with menopausal medicine that I could just shoot in Heavenly's neck. And then we get this flashback of Dr. Jackie telling Heavenly that she's perimenopausal, and some of the side effects are snapping off on the people. But honey, that was so funny when she said bloop. And just a dart she could just blow boop and shoot it in her neck. And oh, that tickled me so much because they had the straight sound effects and everything. I was like, you know what? So anyway, Heavenly, Anila, and Audra, they leave, right? They leave and they end up going to Anila's room. So they left all the other ladies surrounding Contessa. Now, at this point, Toya did get up. So the only one still sitting at the table ain't doing crap was Carrie. So, why are you there? So, Contessa is just like, can we pray? I just want to pray. And not to be judgmental, okay? Because I know this is probably going to sound very judgy. But I just kind of felt in that moment that Contessa said that to kind of garner the other girls that were still there to kind of be on her side, you know. And I'm a believer in faith, and I'm a believer in that prayer changes things. So, you know, she could have been genuine in that moment that, like, let's just pray that things change. But I don't know if it was from earlier with the whole Heavenly ambush where she was just kind of getting the girls on her side to help fight her battles. Like, I kind of felt that because it's kind of hard to be like, when somebody talk about let's pray. You know what I'm saying? So, I could be wrong, y'all. I could be wrong. Well, I want to know what you think about that in that moment. But anyway, so she's like, let's pray. And they all gather around for prayer, except for Carrie. Toy had to be like, get your butt over here and let's pray. And the thing was, they were sitting all right next to Carrie. And Carrie not once had to turn her chair around or nothing. Like, Carrie just saying, like, she's so unbothered with them anyway. So it's like, again, why are you there? Why are you there? So Jackie prays and Quad follows up. She piggys back off the prayer and it ends, right? And so they end up getting up, leaving, and going out. And Simone has this pink limousine waiting for them. So they get in the limousine and you know, we get Toya coming in with the little wisdom. And like I said, a lot of people be saying Toya is an airhead, but I just think that's all up front. So she was just basically saying that sometimes that there is a breakdown that's needed to get to the honesty where you can then just be able to build things back up on a stronger foundation. And I was like, okay, praise Toya, I feel you, girl. And so, and they're sitting in the limo. It's all of them, the 6 of them, because the other 3, like I said, had gone up to a Neela room and they hadn't gone down. So Simone's just like, you know, I had this day planned. It's fun. I don't really want to leave the other girls there. I think we should at least call them and get an opportunity to and still join us, right? And so Simone is just like, Contessa, are you good? And Contessa was like, yeah. So Simone picks up her phone and she calls Heavenly. And Heavenly doesn't answer. So then they're like, well, Jackie, you try to call, you know, kind of setting up for the okie doke too. Because if she had an answer for Jackie and didn't answer for Simone, then that would have been a whole nother problem, right? But anyways, for whatever reason, I think Heavenly just did not answer because she ended up calling Simone back before Jackie ever got the opportunity to call her. And so she was just like, yeah, we good. We gonna come down. So the other 3 come down and joined them. And then they were off. They end up going to this place where they're gonna be ziplining, right? I said, okay, for the girls trip. And Toya is scared. That little baby is crying. So we see her go. They all go 3 at a time, right? And I was like, okay, that was fun. Like, And I'm gonna tell y'all, let me just insert, like, I love zip lining. Like, I love all things adrenaline rush. Like, I have jumped out of planes, I have zip line, I'm that front seater on a roller coaster rider. Like, yeah, I'm that adrenaline junkie. But anyways, Toya conquered her fear. She did it. And for the most part, they seemed like they were enjoying themselves. The tension seemed to have been de-escalated, at least at their point, and they were still able to just have a good time. And that was the end of the episode. So we'll see next week how the rest of the trip ends, because we still have yet to, I think we haven't seen what else that Simone has planned for their day, for her day. And then we have yet to see what Heavenly has planned for her day and all. So anyways, y'all drop down in those comments. Tell me y'all favorite parts of this episode. Comment on some of the things, like, what do y'all think about Carrie? Like, do you think she should be there? Because she's really not adding anything, right? You know, tell me, am I the only one that's feeling like that? Anyways, until next time, y'all, I'll pray for you. You pray for me. And we're going to always what? Yes. Bye.